BC.
In just 10 seconds, a driver leads police on a wild chase down I-84. Plus, Idaho gas isn't just cheap, it's the cheapest. The news at 10 starts now.
Today 6, On Your Side at 10, with 10 minutes of nonstop news. And the On Your Side forecast starts now.
A high-speed chase that started near Boise State finally comes to an end in Nampa. Officers say Boise police tried to pull a man over on Capitol Boulevard after getting reports of a reckless driver. That's when investigators tell us he took off on the connector and headed west on I-84. Boise police stopped their chase at that point, but the driver was spotted again on I-84 near 5 Mile, and he was finally stopped in Nampa near Flamingo and Happy Valley roads. One man who saw the chase come to an end said he's surprised that the suspect didn't cause more damage.
There was probably about 20, 30 cop cars following him. They were swerving in and out of traffic, and then Boise Police Department pinned him, and then he got away, and then he spun out and turned into the driveway this way.
That's when police were finally able to box him in. The man is now in custody and being questioned by police. We still don't know what caused the man to flee or if anyone was injured in the chase. We will update you with that information as it becomes available. Also in Nampa tonight, one man is dead after a standoff at a pawn shop. Police aren't releasing many details, but it happened at a shop near 12th Avenue and 7th Street. Investigators tell us a man walked into the store with a gun. A negotiator then tried to convince him to come out, but the man ultimately took his own life. Officers have not said if anyone else was injured in the incident. In Twin Falls, police said they found and arrested a man in connection with a deadly shooting at a Twin Falls motel. Police say they took 22-year-old William McGrath of Nevada into custody around 8:30 last night. 30-year-old Crystal Turner is also under arrest, charged with aiding and abetting first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit robbery. One man was killed in the Thursday shooting at the Apollo Motor Inn. Police have not released the name of the victim. In Denmark, a free speech discussion turned deadly today, and the attackers are still at large. Andy Rose has the latest.
Suddenly we heard a lot of noise, and we realized it was a shooting.
A chaotic scene in Copenhagen Saturday. One person is dead and 3 police officers are wounded after 2 gunmen opened fire at a free speech event attended by controversial Swedish cartoonist Lars Vilks. A manhunt is underway for the attackers. The Danish Prime Minister issued a statement following the shooting, saying all resources will be used to find the guilty and bring them before a judge. In Denmark, we will never bow to violence. Vilks has angered many in the conservative Muslim community, drawing portrayals of the Prophet Muhammad. He began receiving death threats after one of his cartoons depicted the Prophet with the body of a dog. An eyewitness tells CNN she believes that's why the event was targeted.
I can think of no other reason. It's a very peaceful area in Copenhagen, and the place where the event was held has never had any problems. There's no doubt about it.
In a 2007 interview, Vilks asserts his right to draw whatever he chooses.
If you don't like it, don't look at it. If you would look at it, don't take it too seriously.
This attack comes just over a month after the massacre at satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo in Paris. I'm Andy Rose reporting.
Danish police are now warning citizens to stay off the streets after a second shooting in Copenhagen today came just hours after the first. Armed guards are now standing in the center of the city. Police say the second shooting involved shots fired near a synagogue this morning. One person was shot in the head and killed. 2 police officers were wounded. One suspected shooter fled on foot and is still at large. And in Canada, police say they've disrupted a plot for a Valentine's Day mass murder in Halifax. A woman from Illinois, a Canadian man, and a 17-year-old Canadian boy are in custody. Police also found a 19-year-old suspect dead in his home. Police say a tipster told them 2 people were planning to open fire in public in Halifax, then kill themselves. The role of the other 2 is not yet clear. Police say the attack does not appear to be terror-related. Back here in Idaho, we saw a beautiful, sunny Valentine's Day in the Treasure Valley. Let's head to meteorologist Adam Bierman for his On Your Side forecast. Adam.
Indeed we did, Paul. Beautiful outside across most of the Treasure Valley with temperatures warming into the 50s and 60s. It's cooled off now a little bit, though. Let's take a look at our current conditions in Boise. 46 degrees with clear skies overhead. Dew point down to 38. We could see a little fog forming in parts of the lower Treasure Valley around Ontario, Weiser, and Vail tonight, but I don't think we'll see any in Ada County. Winds out of the west around 7 miles per hour at this hour. Well, let's take a look across the rest of the region. 53 in Ontario right now. We're at 43 in Mountain Home. McCall down to 40. Stanley checking in at 33 this hour. and Sun Valley currently at 37. And clear skies over Boise. A weak little system pushing through central Idaho. You can see there, bringing a few scattered showers up in toward western Montana. But we're going to keep things dry and mild here for quite some time. We'll talk more about that coming up in my On Your Side forecast.
Thanks, Adam. Gas prices continue to linger below the $2 per gallon mark here in the Gem State. For the first time in a decade, Idaho boasts the lowest gasoline prices in the country. Christina Jensen has more on what it could mean for our economy.
Filling up at the pump is getting easier on your wallet, especially if you're an Idahoan.
If the prices remain where they're at, the average Idahoan is going to save about $500 a year.
AAA of Idaho says for the past 2 weeks, Gem State has the lowest prices in the country. Our average is $191. Compare that to the national average of $224.
This is really unusual to be in the #1 position, having come from among the highest prices just about 60 days ago. I've been watching gasoline prices here in Idaho for AAA since 1989. So it's if it's happened, I don't recall it, and it's certainly odd, at least for the last 10 years.
Economist Chris St. George with the Department of Labor says these low prices could affect our local economy. The prices are hitting oil fields hard, some of them even laying off workers who came from Idaho, and that means they could be coming back.
It's just going to increase the available workforce. It's going to be able to create even more economic stimulus for businesses who are looking to hire.
And so far, the low prices have done just that. The biggest for-hire trucking company in Idaho, Doug Andrus, is seeing this change.
In the past, we had lost some drivers of our company drivers to the oil fields for other work, and recently we've been seeing them come back just in the past couple of months, saying that the companies they've been working for there have closed.
That was Christina Jensen reporting. Department of Labor projections suggest we'll continue to see low gas prices until next year. If you plan to apply for insurance through the state exchange, you'll need to hurry. The deadline to apply on Your Health Idaho is tomorrow at 11:59 p.m., 1 minute to midnight. Under the Federal Affordable Care Act, every single American must have insurance this year. Not having insurance could result in a pricey penalty equal to at least 2% of your household income. If you're a fan of dueling, you might be taken on guard or off guard by this next story. An Idaho House panel has introduced a new bill to repeal the only reference to dueling left in Idaho state law. The law was passed during Idaho's first territorial legislature in 1864 and deals with jurisdiction for those who die in Idaho from an out-of-state duel. People who let their dogs run off leash in the Boise River Wildlife Management Area could face a fine of up to $200. At least they won't have to duel. Officials say off-leash dogs can scare the deer that graze in the area during the winter. The extra energy spent finding food elsewhere can be a life and death problem for the animals. 2 years ago, Idaho Fish and Game reported that 11 deer died of starvation in that area. We're just a week away from Hollywood's biggest night, the Oscars. You can see the Academy Awards handed out right here on Today's 6 on Sunday, February 22nd. After checking out that show, be sure to stay tuned for our show, An Evening at the Oscars, live from the Village at Meridian. I'll be there. We'll be broadcasting live as part of a benefit for the Women's and Children's Alliance, and you can take part in the special event. To find out how to score tickets, visit our community page at IdahoOnYourSide.com. Coming up after the break, we'll head back over to the Weather Center, where I promise Adam is not on Facebook. He's working with his complete On Your Side forecast. And coming up a little later, local wineries cash in on Valentine's Day and an undies run. Participants hit the streets in their skivvies for some stripped-down holiday fun.